Hey everybody, welcome back to DeHaven Family Farm. My name is Chris, and if you're new to the channel, behind me is my 1947 Farmall H that I just recently purchased. And today, we're going to be doing some work on it. We've got a long list of small repairs, nothing major that we're going to do. So hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss those videos coming up. And if you wouldn't mind the thumbs up along the way, I'd appreciate it. So let's go ahead and get started with today's repairs. Okay, so what we're going to work on now is the seat, the rear shock absorber. When you sit on the seat, it basically just goes down and boop, that's it, doesn't go back up. So we're going to put a new shock on there. The seat has a decent amount of wobble to it. I don't know if you can see that or if I'm just shaking the camera. So we're going to take out right here on both sides. There's rubber bushings. Hopefully these are the right replacements. This is the Steiner number. So hopefully those will fit in there, and we're going to do that. And then here is the, is there a part number on here? No, yeah, there it is. There's the Steiner part number for the rear shock absorber. And then we got a nice padded seat cover we're going to put on this semi-rusty seat. So let's go ahead and get started here. All right, we'll start back here with this shock. I had trouble, I was getting the socket here. Somebody got a lot of paint on that, so trying to work it on there and see if we can loosen it up here. All right, that one's loose. Jump to the top one, same thing, heavy amount of paint. That one was a little bit tight, but not too bad. All right, see if we can get this thing out of here. Perfect. The rubber bushings are definitely old. Get the new one out. Hopefully it's the right one. All right, so we got the new shock on the top. Found out a couple of things here. So just an FYI for anybody doing this, this was our special bolt that came out of the shock absorber. And we tried to put this through there and it didn't want to go. They actually had like a bushing in there, but you could take the bushing out and then this fits perfectly. I mean, it's tight, but it fits in there. The old shock absorber did not have any bushings. It was just direct rubber. So we went ahead and got the top one partially installed without using the little bushing. The other thing is these are a little bit, the bushings on the new one are a little bit wider. So I had to take the old crescent wrench here and these little tabs here, just bend them out a little bit to get this to fit in here. And even then it's still pretty tight. All right, we got the shock on. We ended up having to use some pliers here. There's some flat spots on these bolts. Kind of had to hold it like that and tighten it down. I'm not exactly sure why they didn't just put a bolt head or something on there. But that project's done. So now let's move up there and we'll try and do those rubber bushings. Okay, so we have these two bushings here. We're going to try and break these loose here and see. All right, we're going to put a cheater pipe on here and make this a little longer. I think she's moving now. There we go. There, I think it's finally coming out. There we go. Finally got that loose. Okay, so here's the current situation. This piece slides in the seat like that, and the end of it's kind of got monkeyed up. It's all bent. I don't know if somebody replaced these bushings at one point and wrecked it or what the heck happened. Fat person rode on it, I don't know. So we might have to do something with that. But the seat bushings are nowhere near correct. You can see the size difference. They fit in here and they're super loose. And the diameter of the hole is completely wrong. So those are incorrect. So we're gonna have to try and order some other ones. So the part number I gave you earlier is not correct. So we'll have to update you later on that after we order some more parts. We got the correct part. That is the part number for the whole piece here that goes in that tube to replace this wallowed out one. So we're gonna get going and get the spring in and then work on putting that in. All right, I'm putting some grease on this main pin that goes in there. We got all the rust cleaned out. We used some sandpaper and some brake cleaner. We got it cleaned up as best we could in the seat mount there. I don't have a wire brush or anything that fits in a round circle, but the sandpaper, it was like an 80 grit, did a good job. So let's see if we can manage to do this now that I got it all messy. So this shoves through here. So I don't know if with the old rubber bushings being so wore out, if it ended up sucking the seat bracket in a little bit here. So I'm going to try and bend these tabs out a little because we don't have enough room to get the new bushings in there. So let's see if that'll help us. All right, we finally got the thing on there. I ended up using a big crescent wrench to bend these tabs out a little bit, and then we had to use a pry bar to kind of get it pushed in there. If you're going to do this job, I would recommend if the rear shock wasn't on there, it would have been so much easier. But we had already changed that, and we had some issues tightening things, so I didn't want to take it apart again. But we fought with it and we got it put back together. All right, now we're going to try our new seat cover. So okay, new seat pad and cover is on. Because it's so thick, and I'm sure the vinyl material is going to stretch some, you know, we have it tucked over as best we can, but I have it wrapped around here and I just double knotted it. I didn't want to do like a permanent knot because, again, if things stretch, we want to be able to tighten it up. But it's very comfortable. We'll see how it holds up. I mean, it wasn't super expensive, so I don't know how long it'll last, but we can always get another one. All right, so we got to change the water temperature gauge, which is over here on the other side. But in order to get to it, we have to take this section of the hood off. And in order to do that, we've got to remove the muffler, which I'll probably kick and knock over. And we have the top of the air cleaner here that I'm not really sure how that hooks on there. There it goes, just like that. A little dirty. And then I think there's two little pull tabs down here that we can pull, and then hopefully gee whiz, there we go. So we want to get this guy out of there, and he comes down to here. And I'm going to be completely honest, I am very nervous about trying to get this out and having it break off. So we're going to have to go gently on that. I also don't know how much coolant may try and come out when we take this apart. I hadn't really planned on draining it. I was hoping we could pop this off quick and pop the new one on and not really spill much. All right, let's start here. Oddball 11mm size. We'll get the nuts off the studs on the back side of the old gauge. All right, so there's that little bracket. We might need to reuse that. I don't know if the new gauge came with one or not. Let's grab a wrench and say a prayer here. Oh, it did come loose. Yes, it did. All right, let's just cut the dumb thing. Hope for the best. So let's thread this new one down in here just to kind of get it somewhat into position, because I'm still not sure what's going to happen here when I go to take this out, whether we're going to get coolant everywhere or not. Yep, it looks like we're going to have a mess. We are going to have a mess. So we're going to try and minimize that mess here if we can. All right, moment of truth, here we go. See if we can do this quick. I didn't lose too much, just a little splash. Most of it landed in the pan, so that was good. Let's tighten her up. Well, we got a little leak there, but that's because this isn't tight yet. Okay, so the new one did come with a new little bracket that slides on here. It gave us a couple washers and a couple of new little nuts here. Flat washer and a goofy 8mm nut. We'll just snug this down. It feels like you can easily go too tight with that. So we don't want to, we already put just a slight bow in that bracket, so it should be tight. There's what the front of the gauge looks like. And here's everything tightened in down there. So let's take a look at this rear work light here that isn't working. I'm hoping it's just the bulb. There we go. Let's see here. That is real glass, so we have to be careful with it. I don't know. Looks like the bulb is intact. Yeah! Woohoo! We got the light working. Finally. Let me walk you through what I had to do here to get this thing going. So, I started by taking this wire off the back of the light here, and there's a little eyelet, and I tested it with the meter. I had just over 6 volts, so I knew that the power, the wire was good. So then, now I got this thing stuck in here, I can't get it back out. It only works when the fixture is in the housing, so I'm guessing it kind of grounds itself that way. So then I took the bulb out, and inside where the bulb goes, there's a little metal piece that the bottom of the bulb connects to get its power. And I was only getting just over 4 volts there. So the first thing I did was I cut off, where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Okay. So I cut off this end piece because I didn't know if there was a bunch of corrosion and stuff down in there that was causing, you know, a power loss. That didn't do it. So then I took the bulb out and I took the wire out, and that little metal piece that's down in there that the bulb attaches to, I sanded that down. That didn't do it. So what finally fixed it is the screw that is in here holding everything together. You can see it has some red on it. That was actually the one that was on the outside, because it had gotten painted over. They're the same screw, so the one on the outside and the inside are the same size. But anyway, that screw was rusty, so it was not making good contact with my new eyelet. So once I cleaned all that up and put it back in, boom, we had it working. But in the process of doing all this, testing this wire and this eyelet off of here, it had fallen down and hit the tractor, and the eyelet blew the fuse to the lights. So then the lights quit working. So, as with anything else on this tractor I've worked on, okay, we'll put a new fuse in. Except that the fuse is in here, and the screws that were here, there's nuts that go on the back side here, completely rusted. No chance of getting them off. They wouldn't snap off. Of course, they're flathead screws, so you can't hang on to them. So you can see I kind of marred it up a little bit. I had to cut the back side of the bolt and the nut off. So I ended up finding some new ones here. Here was what was left of the old rusty one that was in there, and my cut. So in the process of trying to fix a simple light, we ended up monkeying this up, and now I have to put new screws in there, and I'll have to touch up some paint there. And so it was a process, but I'm very happy that I got that light working. The bulb was good. Everything was good. The wiring would have been good even though I cut it apart. It was just the rusty screw that was causing the issue. So I do have rubber gaskets, new rubber gaskets. The old one that was on here, like the dust seal, was shot. It came off in pieces. So I do have new ones to put on. There it is. And this was an aftermarket one. I already had it all put on there. It fits nicely. So I think I'll go ahead and on the other two light fixtures, given the fact that the rubber on this one was completely shot, I'll probably just change it on there. But these are the correct ones. They fit nice. So I'm going to go ahead and put this all back together now.